The girl they laughed at until her father's Mercedes Maybach showed up. The soft chime of the dealership door barely had time to echo before Jasmine Carter felt it, that sudden shift in the air, the kind you don't see, but you always recognize. Conversations faltered, glances flickered, judgments landed before she took 3 steps inside. She walked in with her head held high, not because she wanted to prove something, but because she had nothing to prove. At 19, Jasmine was a second-year college student from Atlanta, dressed in jeans, sneakers, and a Georgia Tech hoodie. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She didn't have to. Her confidence was quiet, the kind shaped not by what she wore, but by who she was and the values her father had instilled in her since she was a little girl. He always told her, real power doesn't shout. It just walks in like it owns the room. Jasmine had been saving for months, tutoring weekend shifts, freelancing. Every dollar was part of a plan. She had researched everything run, cost, comparisons, and even created a spreadsheet of models. Today wasn't about impulse. It was a milestone, her first car bought with her own money. She had earned this, but the moment she stepped inside, the tone was set. 2 salesmen near the front desk looked up, exchanged a smirk, and leaned in to whisper, "She must be lost." One of them chuckled. "No way she's buying anything." Jasmine heard it, loud enough to sting, quiet enough to deny. Still, she walked to the counter, smiling as she approached a middle-aged man whose name tag read Tom. He barely looked up. "Hi." She said, "I'd like to check out your sedans." Sure, he said, tone cool. "But maybe you'd be more comfortable starting at our used lot across the street." The words hit like a slap, wrapped in courtesy. Her smile faded only slightly. "I'll decide what I'm comfortable with," she answered evenly. He raised an eyebrow, smirked, and turned away without another word. That was it. That was the moment Jasmine realized something. They never gave her a chance. Not one. They didn't see a potential customer. They saw someone who didn't fit their idea of what belonged in a showroom lined with leather seats and chrome details. She walked out, chin high back straight, but inside something cracked. Back in her dorm room that night, she replayed every second. She could have told them who she was. She could have dropped the name that made CEOs freeze mid-sentence. Carter, Dominic, Carter, Tech, visionary, real estate mogul, billionaire. But she hadn't, because she believed that who she was should have been enough. Still, the burn lingered. The assumption, the dismissal, the subtle smirk that said everything about how little they expected from someone who looked like her. She picked up her phone and dialed. Her father answered instantly. "Princess, what's going on?" She didn't ask for anything dramatic, just a favor, one that would make a point in a way no lecture ever could. The next morning, the dealership carried on like any other. Same jokes, same egos, same smug confidence, until everything stopped. The hum of a powerful engine rolled into the lot. Heads turned as a custom black Mercedes Maybach S680 glided in, like it owned the asphalt beneath it. A uniformed chauffeur stepped out first, and behind him came Dominic Carter, impeccably dressed, eyes sharp, presence unmistakable. And then Jasmine, same jeans, same hoodie, same quiet fire. The laughter stopped. Conversations died. Faces drained of color. Dominic scanned the room with a calm intensity. "I believe someone had the pleasure of dismissing my daughter yesterday," he said, voice low and even. The salesman stuttered, "Mr. Carter, I didn't realize. You didn't ask." Dominic cut in. She asked to see a sedan. You sent her to the used lot. That wasn't policy. That was assumption. The entire room froze as Dominic continued. So here's what's going to happen. Either you change the way you treat people, or I buy this dealership and replace every last one of you. The silence that followed was deeper than embarrassment. It was realization. Jasmine stepped forward, looking the salesman directly in the eyes. I don't want the car anymore. Not from here. Not from people who only treat me with respect when they know my last name. The man opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. She continued. You should treat everyone who walks through that door the way you're treating me now. Not just the ones you think are worth it. And just like that, she turned and walked out, heels clicking on tile. Dignity and as they left, the weight of the moment settled into the space they'd vacated. It was more than a lesson. It was a mirror held up to a place that had grown too comfortable in its assumptions. The story didn't end at that exit. Phones had captured the entrance. Social media buzzed within hours. Screenshots, quotes, commentary. By that evening, a post had gone viral. She walked in alone, they laughed. She came back with her father and made them remember her name. News stations picked up the story. A well-known journalist wrote an op-ed about the quiet power of self-respect. Other women, young, old, black, brown, working class, shared their own stories of being underestimated. Jasmine's simple act of walking away had sparked something bigger, and yet none of this changed the fact that she had wanted to walk in as herself and be treated like she mattered. 1 week later, a brand new electric sedan arrived on her college campus, delivered by a dealership that hadn't needed to be taught how to act. Right? Jasmine slid into the driver's seat, took a breath, and smiled. Not because of the car, because of the clarity. That experience didn't define her, but it revealed something about the world, about how quick people are to judge, about how often value is measured by appearances rather than effort or character. She could have met their expectations, could have played their game, but instead, she chose to walk away from a place that couldn't see her worth unless it came with a headline. Later that evening, she called her dad again. They laughed about the look on the salesman's face, about the frozen silence, about how poetic the moment had been. But then her voice dropped to a whisper. Why does it have to be like that? Dominic was quiet for a moment. Then he said, because too many people see the suit before they see the soul. But every time you show up as yourself and still stand tall, you make it a little easier for the next girl who walks in after you. Jasmine didn't respond. She just nodded because she knew he was right. This story isn't just about a car. It's not about money. It's about what happens when we decide to carry ourselves with dignity, even in rooms that don't know how to receive it. It's about knowing your worth and not needing anyone else to confirm it. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away. If Jasmine's story resonated with you, take a moment to like this video. If you believe everyone deserves to be respected from the moment they walk in, hit subscribe for more stories that shine a light on truth, dignity, and quiet courage. And in the comments, tell us, have you ever had to remind someone of your worth without saying a word? Real change doesn't always come from confrontation. Sometimes it comes from silence, strength, and the power of simply knowing who you are.